Hey folks, I want to talk off the cuff about something that's been on my mind, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to articulate this well, but bear with me. I had a traumatic childhood, difficult and trying, and I hated myself for many, many years. I really did. I absolutely, literally hated myself. Just had so much shame, so much awful feelings about myself, and this voice in my head that just berated me all the day long, all the time, berated me. I could never do enough. I was never enough. I was never a good enough person. I was never smart enough. I was never pretty enough. I was never popular enough, whatever it was. I kind of think our society sets kids up to feel that way, even if they don't have a traumatic childhood. But for me, it was kind of an insult to injury situation. I didn't want to feel that way, though. There was a part of me that was like a sunflower trying to find the sun. You know how sunflowers turn their faces towards the sun as the sun moves across the sky. And I think that's the coolest thing ever in the universe. So I love to think about that. But anywho, I think I was a sunflower because even though I hated myself, I looked for reasons not to. I used to be so into amazing, wise quotes. And when I would find one, I would write it out on a piece of paper and I covered my wall with them. And I tried to let those words sink in so that I didn't hate myself so much. What ultimately happened was one of my dearest friends died in a plane crash and I stopped functioning. I was about 27 at that point. And I stopped functioning because I didn't want to participate in a world where that could happen. I came to a halt in a clinical depression. And my dear friend told me, you got to get some therapy. And I think had it been for any other thing other than something so definitive as my friend dying a horrible death, somebody who I thought was one of the most amazing people that I ever met, and she still is. If it hadn't been for it being something external that I couldn't have argued with, I don't know that I would have done it. I don't know that I would have felt like I deserved it. So I started therapy way back when, and that was the beginning of my journey out of the shame and the self-loathing and just the stuck place that I was in for so many years. And I remember very carefully clinging to any sign that maybe I didn't have to feel that way. Maybe I could have radical compassion. Maybe I was a badass for living through all kinds of things and coming out without having a black soul or no direction in life or no willingness to participate or whatever it was. There was a period where I literally felt like I could flip my thinking back and forth throughout the day to, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not such a horrible person, back to, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person. Nobody should be my friend. Nobody should marry me. I'm going to fuck up kids if I ever have them, all that stuff. It was a rough period of time. And you know what? Over time, I worked my way out of that. And I think the thing that really sort of pushed me along was moving to California. Because I just think there's a kinder, more, live and let live attitude out here. And I think people respect it if you want to go work on yourself and get to know yourself and figure shit out. I've never stopped therapy. I've taken time off here and there, but I have pretty much continued it for my entire life because I think it's the best money you can ever spend. Had it not been for therapy, I don't think I ever would have learned how freaking amazing I am. And I can say that proudly now. I'm a badass. I'm a cool person. I'm a nice person. I'm a loving person. I participate. I am passionate about things. And I love a lot of things on this earth and a lot of people on this earth. And I don't know that I ever would have thought that I ever could have said that, let alone in public, when I was younger. But I made that trek and I trekked my way on out of the black hole and into a place where I really think that I am going to be able to fill out the four corners of my body and ultimately do the work that I was sent here to do. And that makes me feel really good. And these are things that I think, I'm thinking about more and more because when you have a brain aneurysm, everything sort of feels a little bit, important, a little bit dramatic. Kind of want to look at your life and assess how you think you've done so far in case you maybe don't have a lot of time left to do what you really want to do. So I'm saying all this because I find the MAGA world to be everything that was familiar about that shame period. It's all based on cruelty and who is the meanest and who is the scariest and who can shame you the most and who has stepped on the most people to get where they are. It's not a community kind of a vibe. It's really not. It's like you can be part of this club as long as you're not weird, as long as you're not unusual, as long as you're not disloyal, as long as you're not going to come in here and make the guy on top feel threatened. Then you can be part of the club, and we will ride or die as long as you stay that much of an asshole until the end. It's a really sad thing that that's where we are. And it's a really sad thing that so many children are being exposed to it. I don't know if you saw a recent commercial, a recent campaign ad that Kamala put out, but it's children watching the TV and watching Orangina say horrific things all the time, just nonstop, and hearing messages from Kamala that give you hope and make you feel like everybody has a place here, which presumably is what America is all about. Used to be, at least. I don't know that it's ever really been that, but that has been the ideal. That has been sort of the shining star that we're aspiring to. Not anymore. Now we're aspiring to be the biggest assholes who have the most things on this planet. And that really sucks. It really, really sucks. Because I don't think many people are going to be able to take the journey that I did, the step after step, year after year, investing in mental health help, investing in undoing all those paradigms that got you so confused that you thought you ever had to hate yourself or that you ever were hateable. How sad. I wasted years of my life believing that about myself. How sad. And I don't think many people are ever going to feel safe enough or encouraged enough to make that journey and to get to that place where they feel good. And that's really sad. And I think the whole system is sort of built on not letting people get to that point. It's built on everybody suffering and suffering together, and everybody complaining and everybody feeling like there's no opportunity and things aren't going to get better, and whoever comes along is only out there to screw me. And I maybe deserve it because I'm an asshole too, because God tells me so. I mean, geez Louise, you know. Why in the world do we have rainbows and trees and all these remarkable, beautiful things? Why in the world do we have puppies and babies and all these remarkable things if we are all bad? I just think we get it so freaking wrong, so wrong. And we miss the magic that is out there. So it's going to be a very big job. First, obviously, we have to get Kamala elected. And I think that that is going to start a cycle of energy spinning back towards love and good things and hope and growing and progressing and all of that stuff like we haven't felt in a very long time. But I also think it's going to take a lot of bravery from a lot of people. And I think it's going to take people who have radical acceptance and radical compassion for themselves to be vocal about it and to encourage it and to call people out when they're being too hard on themselves or when they're not seeing the forest from the trees or when they're not seeing how amazing they are. I don't know, maybe I'm using a lot of words to say that we should tell the people that we love more often that we love them and that we support them and that we give them the leeway to go out there and fuck up and figure shit out and start over and just, you know, not be perfect. Anywho, I really hope that I just expressed something that made sense to you and that made you feel like you deserve more radical compassion because you sure fucking do. Yeah, love ya.